Now we're going to dive into some of the tools that we have with ArcGIS Online. And we're going to start with our measure tools. So click once on measure, and we want to make sure that the area tool is selected, which it probably should be. It'll have this outline around it. So if it looks like that, that's wrong, but we want to have that outline. We want to make sure that the units are set to hectares. You might have square kilometers instead. And we need to keep this little window open. If we close it, then our measure tool goes away. And the challenge here, and we can just click on the map and drag it around. Maybe want to zoom in one level so we can see all of the property for the school. The challenge is to trace the perimeter of the property. So I'm going to start at one corner and just click, and we have an anchor set there. Drag, and I don't have to hold the mouse button down. I just click once and let go, and then bring my mouse down to the next corner, click once, go to the third corner, click again, and now on the fourth corner I'm going to double click to end adding points to this polygon. There we go, double click, and we get our measurement right here. So in this case, just over 1 hectare in size. What I actually want you to do is to select the text with the mouse like this, right click and copy it. At this point we can click the measure button to hide the measure tools. So we're going to come click on your icon for your school, click in the description box, and you can right click and paste. And now we've got that recorded, and click close. Also record that number on your worksheet for the school area. And if you forget what it is, well, you can come over here and click on your school, and there's the result. Now let's click the Details button, and we want to be on Content. And we can see that we have two things in our content for our map. We have our map notes that we've just been adding. We've got two things in there. And our base map is the topographic map. And if we click on these little triangles that are at the right-hand side of our layers, we have some other things in here that we can play around with. And let's start by using the zoom tool. And that's going to make sure that we can see everything that's in that layer, which of course is just our two icons right now. This time we're going to do some distance measurement. So let's go back to our measure tool and click on the distance tool. We want to make sure it's at kilometers. And the first measurement we're going to take is a straight line distance between your school and Tusk. So click once at the base of the icon for your school and double click at the base of the icon for Tusk. And that's going to give you the straight line distance, which you can straight away record on your worksheet. The next part is going to be a little bit more challenging because we're going to trace out a travel route, because we can't go straight across from your school to Tusk, most likely. And so we can do this in two ways. If you remember how you traveled from your school to Tusk on the TTC, you can try and trace that route. So if you were at Huron Street, likely you started at the front of the school and walked down to Lowther and went over to St. George and down to the subway, and the subway follows Bloor Street, pretty much exactly the same that we see here, and then getting off at Greenwood. Now the stop at Greenwood is actually a little bit past Greenwood, and then walked up to Strathmore and walked back to the door there. And at this point we can actually double click to end that. And now we have our travel distance by the TTC and walking. If you're not sure how you made it to Tusk on the TTC, or if you took a school bus, then you can just pick what roads would get you to Tusk the quickest. So again, we would start at the school, go down to Bloor, across Bloor, and over to Greenwood and up like that. So whichever way you decide to trace your route, we can get that measurement and add it to your worksheet.